So our new anime begins with Hayato. He returns from Tokyo after 3 years, when his grandmother died. He lost his parents at a young age, so now that his grandmother is gone, he inherited her cafe, but as he steps in the house, a girl in her panties walks in, both of them freaked out. And Hayato runs away to the other side of the room, but even there, another girl was naked, then to other side makes 3, no 4, make it 5 naked girls actually. And you all know what comes after seeing a girl naked, so there he goes. Then they all tied him, but still God bless the guy who just saw 5 naked girls as soon as he got home. Well, this 5 recognized Hayato, but even then they didn't let him go. All 5 of them worked at Café with his grandma, and were also close to her as if they were a real family, and his grandma was the one who gave all of them a home to live in. Hayato wanted to kick them out since he's owner now, and he wanted to demolish this café to turn it into a parking lot, thinking that because it's near the beach, many visitors would come on vacation, and girls didn't want that to happen. Their feelings were attached to that café, but Hayato won't care. So their Riho gets an evil idea that is to press Hayato's manly desires, so first they sent Uka to serve Hayato as a master. And he knew from the first glance that these idiots had come up with a plan to coax him up, so Hayato also played along to take advantage of it and orders fried chicken for dinner. So Uka didn't have any choice but to cook the chicken, but she burned it completely, and there she fails to impress him. And now when Hayato was in the bath he thought all 5 of them would jump at the chance to seduce him, but it was just his imagination. So just as he went to his room, Riho had prepared her a secret weapon that is Shirajuku. Riho never lets her drink at parties because a sip of alcohol turns her into a true shameless girl. Hungry for man, and now since Hayato was the only guy around she was all set to make out with him, and Riho plans to blackmail Hayato with this, but somehow Ami smelled this situation and got there. She thought Hayato planned this and gave him a nice beating. Riho's plan backfired, and to make up for the last night's beating Shirajuku made a nice lunch for him. But there comes the real estate agents to evaluate the value of the property. They looked around the cafe and wanted to contact Hayato later by deciding a reasonable price. But one of them was looking down on Café and even broke the banner of their cafe, and that banner was something that Hayato had made with his grandma, so he took it back from him. And his grandma had named it Familia, a Spanish word for family, and Hayato still had lingering feelings for that. And then Uka brought a last meal for him because his grandma taught pilaf dish to Uka because Hayato liked it. Knowing that if one day when he returns and she wouldn't be there, Uka could still cook his favorite dish for him, his grandma really worked hard to raise him. She always endured all the insults from the man she took alone to raise Hayato, so Hayato just asked one question: how did his grandma died? So Uka tells him that it was just a regular day when they were having dinner at night together and laughing together, but then suddenly grandma felt tired and went to nap, but then she didn't woke up. Hearing this, Hayato was relieved that she had died among her family. As a result, Hayato decided to reopen his grandma cafe. But to run the cafe, this girls didn't even have a basic skill such as cooking or cleaning. Up until now, Hayato's grandma did all the cooking and cleaning for them. All of them were just the same as freeloaders, but everything changes now that Hayato is in charge. Their Shirajuku accepts her part of the job as she knows a bit of cooking and cleaning. But he didn't want just her to work. Hayato puts everyone to work and took the job of laundry himself, but then he randomly took out Uka's underwear like a pervert. So as a punishment he had to clean the whole cafe. There's some old memories became fresh seeing that old coffee machine. Hayato always wanted to replace it with a new one, but her grandma's sentiment were in it. Their Shirajuku called for dinner, and even then Riho and Uka were giving Hayato third degree as an underwear pervert, but Ami showed the beautiful cherry blossoms as they bloomed, making such a nice weather for a dinner, and looking at it felt like a real family. But after dinner, as Hayato was enjoying his bath, Uka accidentally barged in. Uka screamed loudly and Ami heard it, so once again Hayato goes for a rough ride. So the next day Hayato took Riho to tell all the regular customers that they are reopening the cafe. So first they get to the coffee supplier, but the way he spoke was utterly cold. So Riho steps in and acts all cute to speak with the manager, and looking at her coffee manager even gave them a discount. Then Hayato was still the same. Spoke without courtesy even with vegetables supplier, and once again Riho take the stage to tell them nicely about their reopening. After that Riho told Hayato what mistake he made. He was there to tell those people that his cafe is reopening, not to order them, because if he stays cold like this, no one will help him. Hayato recognized his error and apologized. But to run a cafe properly after some time, they need funding, and Hayato had it covered because he had bought some stocks in the stock market and luckily the price were rising. But the next problem was that he can't seem to get along with Uka as they always end up fighting with each other, and Riho pointed it out and Hayato also realized. So for starters he tried to compliment her, but the way he did it only made it worse, because it only appeared to be insulting her. After that, he tried again by praising the dinner, except for the salads, which were gross, but he didn't know that Uka made the salads, and this try was also ruined. Because she used wine in the salads, so obviously is gonna be gross, but then he got to Uka to tell her that bath is free, but there he saw her in the maid dress. It was really awkward to praise her after that many unsuccessful attempts, so instead he complimented her outfit. Surprisingly this time it worked because she attends a fashion designer college and this outfit was designed by her, so she was happy that Hayato liked it. But then Shirajuku comes in to molest Hayato again. She got drunk just from a bit of wine in the salads, so the next day Ami was again messing with him and Hayato left his phone and laptop. Hayato and the girls were all set to reopen. But remember that stock Hayato bought it went up yet again, so he got some spare funds for Café and for the girls. But when Hayato was enjoying the sunset, Ami came in. She was like dead serious and asked for forgiveness from Hayato. It came out of nowhere and later he understood while he saw his phone and laptop. She was holding her dumbbell as she wanted to give Hayato some tea, but she lost control a little bit and dropped on his valuables. But to make matters worse, the stock he had purchased went bankrupt. And now he can't even sell the stocks because of a certain someone, and that's how they ran out of money for the cafe. So they reopened the cafe early, but before that all of the girls warned Hayato to behave even if they got some nasty customer, and taking that advice, the cafe opened up. And right after that some of the regular customers started coming in, but among them was the sucker who humiliated Hayato's grandma because of the loan. Hayato behaved as nicely as he could. But then he told Hayato to bend down to show appreciation that Hayato was able to attend school because he was the one who gave money to his grandma. Hayato swallowed his rage and bowed down, but then that old geezer started making fun of his grandma, saying she was better at bowing down and looked exactly like a grasshopper, so before him. 5 girls were about to trash him out, but Hayato stopped them, and to cover it up he told them that there was cockroach near his seat. So that guy just lifts up Shirajuku's skirt to find the cockroach and that hits the bottleneck. He asked him to leave or else he would file a sexual harassment complaint with the police. So that damn geezer ran away after seeing there were eyewitnesses around. Then after some time the customers started decreasing to the point where there were none. So Café can't go on like this, and since it's the spring season Hayato gave an idea to open the cafe stall at Spring Festival. And for that Shirajuku made some cookies with wine, but if she tries it out and she would turn into a pervert again, but because she was going to bake the cookies, the alcohol would evaporate. But she still got a hangover just from the smell of booze. Then they opened their stall at the festival, but Uka was sitting it out as she was sleepy, so she left to wash her face. But stumbled upon 3 ruffians, so naturally Hayato steps up for her, and seeing this all of the peoples from surrounding came to their support, so for now 3 idiots left. But the next day they made a mess out of their stall with garbages, which Uka thought was her fault, but Hayato didn't even think of it as her mistake to begin with. Because even now he had a secret weapon for situations like this one, which was a cafe cart with a new design on it. And even with this little cart, there was still a hit because there were some people who recognized Hayato and showed their support, but when the day was over and they were heading home, those 3 ruffians blocked their way. He attacked Hayato first, so Ami didn't hold herself back and made a punching bag out of those 3, so they had to run away because they didn't stand a chance against her. And Hayato had even planned further and made a recording as a proof if the cops get involved. And he did this because he can't see Uka's hard work in that cart go to waste as they ruin the cart. And it stings right at Uka's heart. But this is where our video comes to an end, but subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates of our channel.